thought I'd do a bit more of an interesting video, more than a educational video this time. I'm going to be clear right from the start. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm a investor in any crypto that I can make money from. I definitely don't let my bias get in the way of buying or selling a coin or not buying a coin. If it looks like a good project after doing my research, then I'll buy it. Letting your emotions get in the way of any trade is just a recipe for loss. It doesn't matter if I love Bitcoin or hate Bitcoin. If I think I can make money from it, then I'll trade it. At the moment, Bitcoin is around 44% of the entire crypto market. Pretty much what it does is what the rest of the market does to a certain extent. There's a lot more to it, and you have things like altcoin seasons, but that's a little bit more technical and a bit further down the line. But for now, just be aware that if Bitcoin goes up, generally everything else goes up. If Bitcoin goes down, generally everything else goes down. It's good to be aware that Bitcoin isn't the only coin out there. You can make a lot more money off small cap altcoins. In saying that, it's a good idea to have at least part of your portfolio in Bitcoin. Referring to the last video with the 50-25-25 rule. So 50% Bitcoin, 25% large cap altcoins, 25% small cap altcoins. Cap refers to the size of the project. Full screen on this, make it a little bit easier to explain. Your market cap is determined by the price multiplied by the circulating volume. That will roughly give you your market cap. Well, the market cap determines how big a project is and where it ranks, for instance. When investing in something, it's a way of setting your price targets, for instance. So if we look at Bitcoin's market cap is $1.1 trillion. If we go down to say Harmony, it's $3.2 billion. So it's a lot easier to double this market cap than what it is to double Bitcoin's market cap. It doesn't mean that you can't double Bitcoin's market cap. It just means less money needs to go into Harmony for it to double. So it only needs $3.2 billion to come into it to double, whereas Bitcoin needs $1.1 trillion to come into it. That's not your only determining factor in when you're looking at a project, but it's definitely a good way of determining how much money you expect to make from a project. So say you want a 2x or you want a 3x or you want to make 50%, 30% before you take profit, all that sort of stuff. Okay, let's get into it. If you look at this chart, it's a chart of BTC since the beginning. In 2010, it topped out at 39 cents. In 2012, it topped out at $13.45. In 2015, it topped out at 500. It's obviously gone a lot higher since then, but why are these numbers relevant? Well, in 2010, if you had said Bitcoin is going to 34x within 5 years, you would have been told you're full of shit. Now if somebody says Bitcoin's going to hit 100 grand in the near future, you're still told you're full of shit. It's just by less people. People tend to look at the current price of 62,000 US for Bitcoin as expensive, the same way you would have looked at $13.45 as overpriced in 2012. This is because previous price points leave an impression on you as to when you should buy or what you should have bought at. So BTC or Bitcoin was under 30 grand just a few months ago. Should have you bought then? Yeah, definitely. If given the opportunity, say it pulls back to 30k, yeah, definitely buy. But does that mean you shouldn't buy at the current prices? Well, not really. Trying to time a market often means you miss out. If it's a good investment, it's a good investment. It's trying to say, all right, I reckon I can get in for 5 grand cheaper. Well, you might be able to, and it's definitely worth waiting for a good buying opportunity. But waiting for something to half in value before you get back in is very optimistic. This is where being a trader is different to being an investor. A trader is looking to buy low, sell high. Doesn't really care about the long-term outcomes of a project. An investor believes in a project because of its fundamentals and sees value in it. The truth is, most traders aren't successful. Most investors are successful. And it all comes down to timeframes. If you can invest for something for 12 months, you have a better chance of making a profit than if you trade something for 1 month. This is because there is less requirement for the project to perform in the short term. Being able to ride out the ups and downs as an investor and not have a set time frame in what you need to see a profit is what actually leads you to making a profit. So why am I investing in Bitcoin now? Well, 3 reasons: inflation, UAE money, and FOMO. Inflation is already affecting our purchasing power. It's essentially a way of taxing a population without actually increasing taxes. This keeps society happy in the short term. 40% of the US dollars in existence were printed within the last 12 months. You might think this doesn't affect me, I don't live there. Unfortunately, it'll have effect on every currency. Bitcoin by design can't be affected by inflation. There's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin. No one can print more than that. Even if Bitcoin was to stay stagnant, its value would increase in US dollars. That's because US dollars are becoming less valuable. That's a massive reason as to why I think Bitcoin has huge potential. There's a lot of companies, especially in the States, that are accumulating Bitcoin to protect themselves from inflation. So if you can do what the big money's doing, that's a good start. All right, UAE money. When I say that, I'm pretty much talking about the royal family and the big players who live in the UAE. There's a massive amount of wealth that has stayed out of crypto, and that's for a very good reason. These players, people, are massively invested in the S&P 500. So pretty much the ASX for the States. They can't afford to be offside with the SEC. The SEC is the US Securities and Exchange Commission. Until regulation and classification comes into crypto, they'll stay away. So once crypto is declared an asset class, for instance, or they might classify it as something else, but say they classify it as an asset, they won't invest in crypto. That regulation and classification is coming pretty soon. We'll probably see it in the first half of next year. But we are talking massive amounts of money entering the market once this happens. So to say $1 trillion might enter the market, well, yeah, sure. $5 trillion is more of a reality. $10 trillion. Just huge amounts of money tied up in that part of the world. The last reason is finally good old FOMO. So when people finally see enough dodgy ads on Facebook and retards like Koshi talking about crypto on morning TV, this will get people interested in crypto who generally had nothing to do with it before. This sort of spreads like wildfire once it happens. The last big bull run that we had was driven by that. What's important about the current bull market is that FOMO hasn't been a driving factor. It's been institutional investment that's driven the price up. Companies like Grayscale, who over the past couple of years have accumulated about 3% of all Bitcoin and are continuing to buy even more at today's prices. That's what's been pushing the market up. So if you think about how much money is sitting on the sidelines, it hasn't come in yet because your mum and dads, your people who aren't really in financial circles, who don't invest, once they start saying, oh, I can make money off Bitcoin like they did last time, then money will flow into the market and drive the price even higher than what it is now. These are 3 reasons mainly why I still see a lot of potential in Bitcoin. These same reasons will have an effect on the rest of the crypto market as well. This video is just to cover off on Bitcoin. In the near future, I'll cover off on some other coins that I think have potential and some things that I'm invested in. If there's anything that you guys who are watching have an interest in, you want me to have a look at, just send us a message or whatever, and I'll have a look at it and make a video if I think it's worth making a video. If it's a shit coin, I'll probably stay away from it. But yeah, on one last note, just remember to make your own decisions. Like, don't just buy something because somebody says it's a good investment. Do your own research until you're able to say why it's a good investment. This is not financial advice, it's more just financial education. Alright, cheers. I'll see you on the next one.